Okay. Looks like we are live. Let me see now if over here. Yeah, there we go. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sheila Corona. Welcome to New Light Streaming Love. Today is Tuesday, and I tell you, no matter what kind of apparatus I try to get to hold my phone, none of them will work. I cannot tell you how much money between myself and other people have spent trying to get this figured out for me, and it just does not seem to work. At any rate, let's see what we got going today. Oh my word. Um, so I'm not quite sure what's going on in the field. I know that I have had this sense of urgency. I mean, practically feeling driven again to get this recorded and uploaded. I I woke early this morning. I began at around 5 trying to get this going, and every single time I started to read, I found myself going like this, falling back asleep. Now, because of what the way I look at that sort of thing, I said to myself, I must be late for a meeting somewhere. So I had to simply just lay on my biomat and go into meditation. So I'm not quite sure what is happening, but ever since the experience that I had Saturday night with the intuitive hangout session, it seems to be, to me, I feel very go, 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 go. And I'm not quite sure what that's all about exactly. So, but I have faith that it will be revealed to me as required, as I need to know. So, but just so interesting of how it's been going. Oh my, the singer of healing. Okay. Oh, that is very interesting, and I'll tell you why. One of the things I noticed this morning, and I asked myself what it was about. I have I've had some pain in my right hip, and it's been a very odd pain, right? And it's not all the time. It's um this just an odd sensation every now and again. And so I ask myself, what is that about? And the first thing I got was that some repair is going on in there. So interesting to me that the singer of healing would come out. I feel like that's a confirmation for me. Mystic Meadow. Oh my goodness. Sanctuary came out, which is interesting as well because a couple of years ago I got that what we have here, what we live, our little container here that we live in, it came in for me that this was the Corona Rush Sanctuary, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, what else might we have this morning? Let's see from our roofie deck what we got going on here. Not roofie. My goodness, I keep saying roofie. It's Sufi. Why is that? Why do I keep saying roofie? I did that yesterday. I have no idea. So I hope your week is going all right for you. Uh, if there are things that you're noticing in the field, just interesting things, I would love to hear from you either in the comments of this video or reach out to me at Conscious Conversation Central at gmail.com. Fine wine, WHINE. Longing is the portal to wholeness. Ooh. Well, the minute I hear that, I'm reminded that my mantra since about 2017 has been more of me into me. And so, isn't that interesting? And not to mention, boy, that's an interesting uh, painting there as well. Hmm. So far, again, well, as per usual, um, this is always for me, always for me. But I feel for always because I ask for the collective. This is for a collective read. So if you're drawn here, there more than likely will be something here for you. This one is emotional, very interesting card, too. Feels like there's an awful lot about frequency here. Um, hmm, and differing levels of it. And I'm reminded of the black hole from yesterday. So that's kind of interesting. Well, it wasn't a black hole card, but it looked like a black hole to me, which is why um, why I read it that way. So the singer of healing came out first, and it wants to be the first card to be read. It's card number 10, which this is in this deck, it is part of what I call it is the singers, and for me, it's like the major arcana of the tarot on steroids in a manner of speaking. This is the singer of healing. The singers are like I said, the major arcana of this deck. So the singer of healing, the keywords with this card are healing of body, mind, and spirit. The song of this singer has the power of healing deep wounds of the spirit, wounds that can destroy mortals or immortals alike. Faith betrayed, love dishonored, trust abandoned, and other injuries of the spirit all inflict serious wounds, which are reflected in the body's illnesses and injuries. Oh, that's kind of interesting too, because I had a conversation yesterday in which we talked about trauma and for me, realizing that every being on this planet, most especially myself, um, have had all manner of trauma. Um, and most trauma, I suspect, while some has had some pretty horrific origins. Some I honestly now see uh, start out innocently enough, but they sort of build. One experience builds on a little trauma here, and then another trauma here that aren't what a being would say. Well, no, I'm not traumatized, and yet it is there, and it sort of builds, right? And I know myself, again, you don't get to 490 pounds without having some trauma that you're stuffing down, suppressing, oppressing. And of course, it goes out sideways. It comes out as all manner of illness and manifests itself into this physical realm through the vessel that inhabits the divinity within. For me, this is the way I've come to recognize that, because I will just read this again. Wounds that can destroy mortals or immortals alike, faith betrayed, love dishonored, trust abandoned, and other injuries of the spirit all inflict serious wounds which are reflected in the body's illnesses and injuries. Through the song of healing, we may be restored and renewed, but only if the wounded one is prepared to forgive and let go, returning to love and compassion. As always, with all gifts of spirit, healing is offered, not forced, and requires active participation on our part. Hence the, hence the healing and letting go, forgiving and letting go. True healing must take place on all levels at once, body, mind, and spirit. Now, personally, I don't think that's necessarily the case because in some cases, like with me, there's lots of it there. And I've had experiences where, you know what, I figured I had healed that situation, and only months, sometimes years after, I find that, well, maybe not so much. But recognizing those situations and being open to seeing that there's more there makes that secondary uh, stab at it, if you will, that much easier. And explains so much, at least for me. Healing a lifetime of wounds doesn't happen all at once. Not for me anyway. So I'm in disagreement with that right there. But there we go. These levels are inextricably linked, all one piece, and we cannot expect to change one without changing the others. Yes, that much I absolutely agree with. Our bodies do not do things all on their own. The links between different aspects of being are many, complex, and often obscure, and yet the principle of healing them is simplicity in itself. We need only to let go of the things that are hurting us and nurture ourselves with the things that benefit us. So simple, so difficult. The song of healing is present everywhere, and like the other aspects of the great song of ecstasis, it is without limit. Healing can seem so complex as we dig our way through all our blocks and resistances and old stuff. But in the end, it is simply letting go and opening up. Uh, to be honest with you, like I said, opening up and allowing oneself to face and embrace all of those sorts of things, and to perhaps consider something out of the way we've always done things, is half the battle, or at least it certainly was for me. This is the healer's card, and its presence in a reading may speak of healing to be given or healing to be received. The circumstances and processes of reaching well being may seem easy or they may bring great challenges. In either case, we are asked to participate in our own healing as we are strengthened by this singer. More usually, this singer speaks of both giving and receiving because we cannot truly and freely give without receiving as well. I think that's true. Healing is something that flows through us, not from us. A lot of differing practitioners really think it comes from them, and when it actually does not. Um, As such, we are inevitably affected by its passing. Drawing this card tells us of both a need and an opportunity for healing ourselves and perhaps others as well. As Warren, one of my teachers, said, Healing is not something you do, it is something you are. Wow. I feel like that's a true statement too. Um, my housemate, Lisa Flamino Rush, the other day actually reminded me that, we are not called human doings. We are called human beings. There's a reason for that. Everything we are emanates outward from us. And once healing has been done within one's field of any sort, even a half healing makes the path to that kind of healing accessible to others. And we carry that around in our fields. Lisa likes to say she carries solution, resolution in her field. Sometimes you don't even have to say anything to anybody, and it's just there to be gleaned by the beings that pass you by in the grocery store, on the way to something. Doesn't matter. And I really do feel like that's an absolute truth. After some of the experiences we've had in public, I really do not doubt that information as being a true statement. Um, I was telling somebody yesterday that we were in the local Big Lots here, and this lady that happened to briefly touch my hand as I handed her a box of tissues that I was standing in front of at the store on the shelf. She started telling us a lot about herself, and she actually turned and said, "I don't know why I feel all of a sudden like I got to tell you my whole life story." And that's not the first time that's happened, you see. And I think it has to do with that solution carried in the field. It turned out that this lady who wanted to spill her whole life story was having a situation for her that was exactly what my own sister was moving through at that moment. She had had a stroke, she had fallen, and she wasn't sure what was going on with herself. Very interesting. Gotta make you wonder. So the next card that came out was the Mystic Meadow. Sanctuary is the key word here. The creatures and the mystic beings of the forest know that the meadow at the center of the woods is a safe space where one can Oh my gosh, because we were talking about the fact that folks can feel that this is a safe space, that Lisa and I are a safe space to spill all of whatever it is you feel to spill. Now, isn't that interesting that that come up here? Wow. Which is exactly what happened Saturday night as well, I feel. Uh, Folks felt safe. And that's a big deal. That is a very big deal. Wow. The creatures and mystical beings in the forest know that the meadow at the center of the woods is a safe space where one can truly relax and feel comforted. When you step into this luminous meadow, it's not uncommon to see animals such as deer curled up alongside sleeping bears, foxes and rabbits lounge side by side, unicorns, fairies, and elves all gather in the mystic meadow. You feel relaxed, healthy, and clear. This card appears as a reminder to replenish your inner resources. It's time. That's very interesting since I felt to lay down right before this. I felt like I was being called to a meeting. That's so interesting. It's time to renew your energy and make tending to your own needs a priority. Practice extreme self care. Protect yourself from less than positive influences in your life. The message here is to take shelter, retreat into your home, or spend time in places and with people where you feel at home. Mend physical objects, organize your possessions, and heal relationships. There is the possibility of a huge spurt of energy in the future, but unless you take this time to create foundations and nourish yourself, you might be overwhelmed by it all and miss the opportunities available to you later. This card can also mean that blooming and expansion are at hand. Flowering success awaits you. Healing energy is growing and beautiful things are to come. The spirit of the mystic meadow says, draw nourishment from the wellspring inside you. Be a sanctuary for others. Go within and listen to the voice of your soul. Access your divine guidance. If you have been struggling or pushing, take time off, retreat, rest, and relax. Take a vacation or embark on a retreat. Well, wow, how interesting is that to come up with that for today? I really I'm really sort of blown away so far by this reading, and how it's showing me certain things here. So the next card was Fine Wine, Whine. Longing is the portal to wholeness. O heart, learn from the unopened bud. Stop complaining about enclosure. Don't you know the morning breeze unties all that is closed? The cure for the hardened heart is the temptation of love. Raise your head. The remedy is here, and so is the one that heals. This is a quote from Hafiz, Hafiz. I guess he's also a Sufi, since this is the Sufi wisdom oracle. Something is capturing your heart and pulling you close. Is it the presence of the beloved or the feeling of missing love? Sufi sages have written for ages about the transformative potential of longing. They consider longing for love as medicine for every heart. The pain of the heart is the thread that leads you to heal the sickness of your soul. Hafiz is calling you to follow him into a new way of being in this world. He invites you to say yes to the incredible unfolding and feeling of blossoming. Remember, dear one, that the longing for love is an absolutely necessary part of life. The fire of love of love increases in the state of longing, while the excitement decreases when we relentlessly remain in the arms of the beloved. Like everything that is created, love has a dual nature, positive and negative, masculine and feminine. The masculine side of love is I love you. Love's feminine quality is I am waiting for you. I am longing for you. It is the feminine side of love, the longing for the lover, the cup waiting to be filled, that leads the lover to the beloved. Sufi wisdom is inviting you not to feel badly. Your longing will soon enrich your life by giving you goals to achieve. You are experiencing a primal pain, the pain of separation. Embrace the suffering and allow it to lead you deeply within yourself. Be assured that it will take you deeper and deeper away from the prison of your limited self to the freedom and wholeness of your divine nature. There's a mantra here, and it's propel me into the divine sweetness of the love of the beloved. Pour the divine wine into me. Fill me and then drink from my lips. Let me glimpse a sweet, wonderful moment of the paradise of love. That's kind of an interesting painting. It is by Rasuli. The paintings here are still by Rasuli, who is the artist of the Rumi Oracle, which I'm going to have to get back out. It's really calling my name. Okay, so the last card is the Alchemy Elementals by Shaman Durek. And the card is emotional. And this one is still, I'm telling you, it's a little bit odd for me because the way this deck is laid out. Emotion. Emotional. Okay, so the card is a 9. The card page is 108. And that's a 9 numerologically. But the card itself is a 3? No, I think that's a 14. Or is it a 13, which would be a 4? I think it's a 4, which is foundational, which would make sense. Okay. All right. So here we go. The emotional pillar. That's what this is called. The emotional pillar. When the emotional pillar shows up in your spread, the spirits are asking you to delve inward and to connect with your innermost feeling state. This pillar is about feelings, creativity, intimacy, and connection, which is exactly what the fine wine card talked about. The Sufis inviting us to dive deeper into ourselves, right? The emotional pillar is a very feminine card, not because women are the only ones who have feelings, because that's ridiculous, but because feeling itself is a feminine energetic. So much of our Western culture is about doing. There's that again, isn't it? And achieving and making shit happen. It actually says that in the book. And that's fine and wonderful as long as it is bringing us joy. But so often we find ourselves busy doing, achieving, and making shit happen that we forget to tap into our feeling nature until something pushes us too far or pisses us off and we explode in rage or tears or feeling overwhelmed or whatever have you. The emotional pillar is the spirit's way of nudging you into a deeper relationship with your feeling state. Take a bath, go for a swim, be in nature, do some journaling, have a cry or an orgasm or a dance party. Shake, drum, journal, sketch. Be in your creativity and your sensuality. Wow. Oh, hello, Daryl. Daryl, I owe you an apology. I wanted you to be able to join us Saturday for the after hang, and I didn't get to you in time. I couldn't find your information to get to you, but I have since accepted your Facebook request. So the next time that happens, I'll make sure that you get the Zoom link so that you could join us. I have to tell you, it was really something. It was certainly meant to be. And I am so, so sorry that you were not included. I couldn't find your information fast enough. So I do apologize to you for that. But there will be another time. I promise you that. So I have a lot going on today, as you might have imagined. And so I really appreciate those of you that have found your way here, because I really do feel like, which is why I don't make announcements. It's why I don't, try to boost the channel, because that's not what all of this is about. It's all by magnetic draw. If you are drawn here, most specifically during the live itself, but even afterwards, if you feel drawn to hear it, 9 times out of 10, there'll be something here for you as well. Because I really have noticed for me, if I'm drawn to do a reading, even for someone else, when I pull cards like I do in the intuitive hangout session, there's always something for me. There's always something for me. It goes back to what the singer of healing card said, that it comes through us, not from us. And so since it is, no matter what it is, there's always something in it for all who are exposed to it or feel drawn to it, in my view. So I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I want to point everyone to the books that I've recorded that are here on the channel. The Handbook for the New Paradigm, volumes 1, 2, and 3 are all recorded and will follow each other one after the other, just like listening to an audio book. I highly recommend that. However, for me, I don't think I would have understood what was happening in the Handbook of the New Paradigm had I not been exposed to the Jeshua channelings first. And I was given permission by the author, Pamela Crabbe. Uh, I'm so grateful to her for allowing me to put that on the channel for everyone to take a listen to. So I highly recommend that one first before listening to the Handbook for the New Paradigm if you are so drawn. Well, that's it for this one. Thank you guys for being here. I hope that you will move towards that which brings you joy in each moment that presents itself to you. It truly is just a matter of your perspective. And if you allow yourself a moment when presented with something that doesn't feel so joyous, I can tell you that there usually is another perspective that one can perhaps view the situation from in order to find something that brings a little bit higher joy than what is originally presented. So until we meet again, my friends, mwah, be well.